What is up, everybody? It is I, Ronin, and today I'm coming at you with a learning how to play for a new archetype, Appliancer, and I want to just right off the bat, okay, like minute, less than minute one here, tell you I am fairly certain I built this deck very wrong. I don't know what you're supposed to do with it on its own. Like, it makes a bunch of Link 1 machines that had just have various effects, but I'm pretty sure I did it wrong. I think I'm supposed to be running at least 2 Laundry Drake and a Dryer Drake, but no, I'm fairly certain I'm pretty sure I just didn't get this one, and I try my best to not look up sort of references, established combos, unless it's something that, like, I am entirely lost on, but no, this is my version of the deck. I'm fairly certain it is not correct, so if someone in the comments could please tell me what is correct, I would really appreciate that. But, that being said, let's get into it. So, Appliancers, it's a archetype from the anime. I'm pretty sure it was a Roboppy that used it, from Brains, and like I sort of said in the intro, they're a Link 1 engine, more or less. The different appliancers have various effects, most of them special themselves. Also, this is copy buckle. I don't know why the image doesn't load in for me, but it just doesn't. But this is copy buckle. Be aware. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get right started in here, and I think we should actually start with the extra deck, because that's kind of where all of your plays that exist are going to exist. So we're going to start with the more or less boss monster of the deck, Appliancer Celtipus. So Link 2, 0 attack, Dark Machine, requires 2 Appliancer monsters, and it cannot be targeted for attacks when it's linked with other monsters, and your opponent can't target with card effects when it's linked with other monsters. And during damage calc, if a Appliancer monster that's co-linked to this, well, Link monster specifically, I should say, battles an opponent's monster, the battling monster gains 1,000 attack for each monster co-linked to it. And during damage calc, during damage calc only, I should say. Sorry, I slipped of the tongue there. And once per turn, if an Appliancer monsters you control that isn't linked to this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you get to draw one. So, none of the Appliancers have particularly high attack, so this is a good way to sort of get over bigger monsters as well as proximate effects, because the Appliancer link monsters have linked and non-linked effects. So that's kind of their gimmick, and this is sort of something to keep them around for a longer time. Let's go ahead and move right over to the next one with Laundry Dragon. It is a Appliancer water machine. It requires 1 Appliancer monster, as all of the Link 1 Appliancers do. And its linked effect is that when it battles an opponent's monster, it can banish that opponent's monster, and once per turn after damage calc, if it's not co-linked and battles an opponent's monster, you blow up the opponent's monster and burn them for its original attack. So it's pretty cool. Good battle removal. Good way to get over big bodies in a pinch. Then we have Appliancer Vacuelephant. It has 2 effects. Its linked effect is that you can send a card from your hand to the graveyard to target a card your opponent controls to pop it. And if it's co-linked, you can just target a monster your opponent controls in the main monster zone and destroy it. So, one is better removal, but the downside is that it has a cost. The other is worse removal, but it's basically free. So, kind of, it's a pretty good card. I should probably be running it at 1 and then running the Laundry Drake at 2. But, oh well. Next up, we have Appliancer Kappa Scale. Its linked effect is that you can tribute it, target a Appliancer Link monster, and then special summon as many Link 1 Appliancer monsters from your graveyard as possible to zones it points to. Its non-linked effect is that you can tribute it in order to summon a level 4 lower Appliancer from your grave. And then the last Appliancer link we have is Appliancer Dryer Drake. Its linked effect is that it gains 1,000 attack, and during the battle phase, it can switch places, the places of 2 appliancer monsters in the main monster zone, including itself, and the monster that it switched places with is able to get 2 attacks during the battle phase this turn, and if it is not linked, it can negate an attack on itself once per turn. So, pretty good defensively. Generally, the board I was able to construct by the end of it, if you have an average hand, is Celtipus with a linked Dryer Drake and Laundry Dragon. But if you're going second, there are other options as well. For the rest of the extra deck, though, we have free Link Crew because we run a lot of level 1s. Free 1 Lionheart in case we ever need to crash and, not take the damage. And 1 Galaxy Queen because outside of Break Buckle, there isn't really protection in this deck. Alright, so that's the extra deck. Now to go over the main deck. So starting with the monster lineup, we have free Ash Blossom, free Sockatroll, free Turbo Booster, free Veiler, free Breakboard Buckle, and free Copy Buckle if it would decide to show its face, but it won't, it's a coward. So obviously, hand traps are hand traps. Ash Blossom, Ash's Fangs, Affect Veiler's Fangs. That's obvious. Turbo Booster. One you might not be familiar, but basically it's a cool level 1 that can special summon itself so long as you've normal summoned that turn, so it's pretty neat. Now to go over the actual, appliancers. So first, Sockatroll. It can be special summoned from the hand as long as you control another appliancer monster. And when another copy of itself is special summoned, you can special summon a appliancer from your deck. Pretty simple, good way to get advantage, works well with Machine Dupe. You can see a bunch of things from deck, a easy way to generate advantage. Next up, we'll go over the elusive Copy Buckle. While it's in the hand, you can target an appliancer that is on your field to special summon it, and it is treated as having the name of the appliancer you targeted. And if it's in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to Monster Reborn you can Monster Reborn appliancer. So it's pretty nice. Pretty nice. A good way to recover, good way to extend, awesome card. And now we have Breaker Buckle, which I'm pretty sure I've said differently 3 times now, but it has a surprising amount of utility and it's very good for the deck. So basically, in the hand, it can be discarded to protect a appliancer from dying by battle or you taking battle damage from that battle, and by banishing it from the graveyard, you are able to protect appliancers from being destroyed by card effects, and it's protection. It protects your boys, which is really good when you're trying to crash into something with Laundry Dragon. So, might not seem it, but it is a super important part of the deck because there are very few N-archetype ways to protect your boys. So yeah, that's the monster lineup. Now to go over the spells, we have 1/1-for-1 to summon any of our monsters from the deck effectively. Free Pot of Desires because there isn't much we care about banishing. Free Where Art Thou because if you summon one, you can activate it and search a Sockatroll. Free Machine Dupe because all of our main deck monsters are, well, almost all of them are Machine Dupe targets and can generate us advantage. 1 Terraforming to search the field spell. Free Field Spell, Appliancer Electrical Sit World, which when it's activated, it rotas a Appliancer, so that's pretty cool. And when you link to summon a Appliancer, once per turn, you can get something back from the graveyard, so it's a good way to get back Sockatrolls. So yeah, pretty necessary. Beyond that, though, we have free Appliancer Reuse, which is Appliancer Monster Reborn that returns things to the deck after they burst into the graveyard. 2 Appliancer Test. It just lets you special summon Appliancer Link monsters to link zones that you have pointed to. However, they're banished during the end phase. And free Call by the Grave, just because searching is a pretty big part of this deck. But yeah, so that's the main deck. The main idea is just anything plus Machine Dupe is basically full combo. Ideally, you'll get Sockatroll, but it really works with any of them. So now for the side deck, pretty standard stuff here. We have free Gamma Seal in case we need to drop a turtle on it. We got free Boral Sword in case we want to OTK. Free Lightning Storm in case we really want to go second. An extra Appliancer test in case we are ever in a matchup where or we just seriously need the recovery. 2 more Twin Twisters just in case we need a little more spell trap removal. 2 Blizzard in case we want to stop quick play spells. And 1 red reboot for the trap heavy matchup. But yeah, so that's the deck. If you're new here, we just go over a few replays. I show you what I liked of the deck, what I didn't like, what I thought was cool, what could be better, etc., and so forth. And yeah, that being said, I will see you guys in the... I think it's just 1 replay this time, but we'll see. In the replay or replays, I guess. We'll see. But yeah, see you guys there. Alright, welcome to the... well, this one's really good, so it'll probably be the only replay this time. Well, the replay with Malcolm X. We are tab as per usual. And our opponent's playing some Danger Dark World shenanigans and possibly bricked a little. However, we are going first, which is perfectly fine for this deck, I guess. It really can go first or second, depending on how you have it set up. I prefer second, but that's me. And yeah, we opened up pretty okay because we have Machine Dupe and a way to get to Sock Control. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So we are going to go ahead and start by summoning our Breaker Bunkle, activating Where Art Thou because we have a level 1 on the field. We are now able to special summon our Sock Control from hand. And then from there, we are able to go ahead and Machine Dupe our way into a few other monsters, which is pretty good. Then we are going to go ahead and continue with our plays. And 1 second, this is a little... But yeah, so from there, we are going to go ahead and link away our 2 Sock Controls to make a Celtipus, summon out the Dryer Drake using 1 more, and then we'll use the final one to get a Appliancer Laundry Dragon. And I will be back in a second, I am sorry. Alright, sorry about that back. I was just checking some sound stuff. I'm not sure if any's going to come through at this rate. If not, though, I'm sorry. But yeah, so we do take 2,000 because we did not normal summon the monster we searched off of Where Art Thou. But that's basically the best play I was able to come up with. You can always move Dryer Drake in order to sort of get a draw off of Celtipus. However, this way we have Dryer Drake to take some attacks or big numbers. Laundry Dragon in order to take some attacks as well. It's the best I could come up with. We also do have the Breaker Bunkle in the grave, which is pretty good, as well as the Copy Buckle and Appliancer for recovery next turn. But let's go ahead and get right into it. So our opponent's going to start with the upstart, go ahead and get some stuff. Set the Pot of Avarice, go ahead and discard whole hand. Thankfully, we did get an Ash Blossom and another Copy Buckle, which is pretty good. And at this point, our opponent's just going to start going off with the danger effects, getting the Mothman back, getting a draw and discard. We did thankfully manage to drop another Copy Bunkle, so we were able to protect our Dryer Drake from the Bigfoot. We do go ahead and Ash the Allure. A little bit of a mistake, but I was honestly worried about him just being able to discard more cards, so that was on me. So yeah, that's going to be negated. Our opponent's going to go ahead and activate Gates of Dark World, summons the Tugaras. At this point, I thought this was going to be a FTK, which it wasn't. So he's going to go ahead and draw and discard, managing to discard the Danger Jackalope to get the Chupacabra onto the field, activating the Shade Brigandine for another monster. Go ahead and make the Emerald for a little bit of recovery, which is pretty cool for him. You go ahead and activate Mothman to get the Goki Pole discarded. Summoning the Mothman, Goki Pole is going to go ahead and give him a search for another Mothman. So Mothman again, discarding the Shadal Beast in order to get yet another draw. Activating the Pot of Avarice for even more draw power. So this is getting pretty silly. Making the Utopia double. At this point, I hadn't checked the graveyard to see that he had, in fact, lost his double or nothing, but he is going to go ahead and make it the Mega Clops, at which point Dark World Dealing is going to activate. We drop the Machine Dupe because it's not going to be super helpful to us right now. At which point he is going to try to once again pop our Dryer Drake. Thankfully, we had another Breaker Bunkle in the grave to protect it. He's going to go ahead and use Chupacabra, discard it. He lost the effect, unfortunately, though, but he did get the Nessie, which is going to be a search for yet another Mothman. He's going to go ahead and banish the Chupacabra and get another draw, bringing back the Vanguard, and then he's going to bounce it for the Grapha. Mothman one more time to try to just build a little bit of a board. Activates the Dark World dealings. We're going to go ahead and drop the Copy Buckle for a little bit of potential recovery there. He's going to summon Vanguard, overlay into the Redoer, and at which point he is going to go ahead and make some attacks, which we are not able to stop because Megaclops is basically only affected by Xyz monsters, so Celtipus doesn't do much to it. However, we are going to go ahead and get a negate on the Dryer Drake because it did lose its co-link, so we could negate an attack. However, it is going to get beaten over, and he's going to go ahead and just put a Jackalope on board. Overextending? Probably, but not much we're going to do about it. So Redoer is going to go ahead and snatch up a Where Art Thou. However, we are going to go ahead and get rid of the Laundry Drake to link into a Kappa Scale. We are going to go ahead and Ash the Redoer so he doesn't get, possibly draw into a hand trap. Then we're going to use Kappa Scale's Unlinked effect to go ahead and get a Sockatroll back on board. Then we'll use Copy Buckle, targeting the Sockatroll to summon another Sockatroll. I don't know why it didn't let me summon something from deck there. I mean, was I out? Was I out? I might have been out. I actually didn't check. No, I had a appliancer. I had some appliancers in deck, so I don't know what that's all about. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and make the Vacufint. With its effect, we're going to go ahead and discard the Turbo Booster to pop the Redoer. However, then we're just going to pass turn because there's nothing we can attack over. At which point, he's just going to attack for game. So yeah, that's kind of how the deck flows. It's great at removal, honestly. Like spot removal, this deck is incredible. It's a fairly consistent and simple play to do. And if you get, you really can attack over things, remove things. It really can be a problem for your opponent, especially those that rely on the graveyard. If you have Laundry Dragon, this deck absolutely wrecks. The issue is, it only really seems to have one play, and it really wants to go second. So it's a very easy to use going second deck or going first, I guess, depending on the build. Again, I am fully convinced I did not play this deck right, and I would love it if someone would tell me what I did wrong in the comments, if anything, because I really felt like this deck was going to be a lot more powerful. But yeah, so pretty neat deck. But all that being said, that's going to be the video, I think. Let me know what you thought of the deck. Again, anything I could have done better with it is appreciated. And any decks you want me to try playing, I'd love to take your request. I'd love to hear what you want to see. But yeah, all that being said, like if you like, comment if you have something to say, and subscribe if you want some more. This has been Ronin, signing off.